Artist Production.
Welcome. You guys made it. 2019 Listener League. We got you guys here with us, locked, loaded, ready to go. It's just me, Mac, here at the moment, but I do have Landon and Scott ready to go with us. Got the boys coming in here in a second, and we'll see what's going on.
Artist
Welcome
Production.
into the stream, boys. Say hello to the people.
Yo, what's good?
What is up, gentlemen? I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you and dominating you this season. Let's do it.
The Sunday morning snap. Let's go.
That's right, the Sunday morning snap. We got most of the league mates here with us. Going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Just bringing up the draft board here, sorry. So this draft has been pretty crazy to start. Essentially, we have how many trades here? 1 million trades. I ended up trading with Buck. So we traded the 11th for the 3rd spot. I essentially didn't want a top 3 running back. I thought maybe the value that I could get for that was maybe worth trading down going into the 12th spot. But if you look down this draft board, as I pan to it here in a second, there's a lot going on. It's pretty crazy. So just going down the lineup here, we've got Scuba Steve, Steven Fur, Lano going first, then Scott, and then we got Buck, T. Muir, Landon, Easy Daddy, Mark, who Landon will be drafting for Mark. He's over in Greece. Then we got Big Nick, we got Turk, Mad Dog, Tron Swanson, a.k.a. Adam, and me at the end here. So your hosts are in green, and the rest of the listeners are in blue.
Let's go. It's weird seeing us on camera right now. I'm just pretty much recording naked. Or at least without pants on.
Please don't do that.
Oh boy, thanks for that visual there. I like that the distraction tactics are already running. So, while you're trying to contemplate which running back to start your draft with, think about Landon sitting there, just breezing in the wind.
But I bet you for our listeners, it's probably nice to put some faces to the names because we've been podcasting for over a year now with the show. And now they get to see us live and see, oh man, this is how ugly these guys really are. So soak it all in. You'll probably start to see a little bit more of us here, which is fantastic. We've wanted to do this for a while, and now the day has finally come that we can do this. So we're excited to have everybody. If you try to get into the league and you didn't, try next year. But these 8 guys that we're going to be drafting with today are star-studded killers. They were chosen for a reason. We had about, I want to say, like 150 to 200 applicants to get into this league, and congratulations to the 8 that made it. Fantastic stuff. Mark sent us over some greetings from Greece. It's his last day there, to celebrate his relationship and not to sort of what's the word here? Offend his wife. He's going to spend the last day with her and not draft with us, but he's putting it in Landon's somewhat capable hands to draft for him. So Landon has a nice little excerpt from Mark to share with you guys, and he's got some thoughts going into draft season. We are 10 minutes away, fellas.
All right, guys. Marky, we miss you. Hopefully you're having a good time. He's just in Mykonos, jumping over to the other side of the island for some dinner right now. Sounds like a terrible time.
Terrible.
I don't know, guys.
We all really feel bad for him right now.
Just for that, I'm going to draft a kicker first round. Do we even have kickers in this league, by the way? We should go over the draft settings, league settings in a minute.
Yeah, say the intro from Mark, and then we'll go through the draft settings.
All right. Hello to the SMS boys back in Canada, our listeners and league mates. I wish I could join for this long-awaited draft, but I am missing it to enjoy the last day in Greece. Just a few words to kick things off. Please read these using your least articulate impressions or accurate impressions of me. All right. I don't know why I'm reading this. I'm barely articulate as it is.
You're gonna struggle with the French part. Hundo P.
That was what I was looking forward to seeing.
Number one, I'm stoked about where this podcast is at. Thanks to the devout fantasy junkies who continue to support us with likes, follows, downloads, and subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
While the last couple episodes have missed a certain je ne sais quoi,
Oh, nicely done.
they have been
Nailed
straight
it.
fire. Can't wait to be behind the microphone. I know, Marky, me too. Adam, our new listener league and participant, I couldn't be happier that you grabbed the last spot. Let's make this league the one we do well in, okay? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the one, guys.
Not gonna be
Sorry.
this one. Not gonna be this one.
Landon, do you like the curves on my girlfriend? Because we like you.
Well, oh, pool hall junkies.
That episode's got a lot of attention. I like it.
A lot of
Oh
love.
boy, yeah, a lot of traction.
Marky,
there.
your girlfriend has sent me some personal pictures from Greece, and I don't mind the curves, let me tell you.
Ooh, let's go.
Ooh, shots fired.
Finally,
I got an
happy
update
drafting.
from Mark. He's flying back.
There you go. Happy drafting to everyone listening, watching live on YouTube, and no funny business with his picks. I'll do my best, Marky, to get your team up there in the playoffs.
Quick shout out to Sleeper for the like and retweet on the link. Thanks so much for that. Je ne sais quoi. So go over league settings as we are officially how many minutes away? 7 minutes away here. This is a 15-round half PPR draft. You're going to have 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex, a kicker, a defense, unfortunately, and 5 bench spots. We debated taking kickers out of this league, but we thought, you know what? For tradition, we will keep it rolling. So that's what the league settings are. That's what we have. And we have 60 seconds per pick. Like I said, the draft order is a little bit crazy right now, but it does show you how active some of the guys in this league already are. We're trading away draft capital before we even know where players will fall. If Ezekiel Elliott is even playing football this year, I think it's crazy. So, going in, we got about 6 minutes here. Let's talk the Zeke thing real quick. Do you think Ezekiel Elliott is worth a top 4 pick, or would you go potentially David Johnson over Ezekiel Elliott at this point in time with the potential holdout still looming?
The thing with Zeke is if he plays, he's a league winner.
Yeah.
If he plays, he is granted he should be the number 1 overall pick.
Agreed.
So, I got a listener giving me a shout right now live on. Should we listen to him or what?
Maybe. Talk Zeke
right.
though. Talk Zeke though.
Anyway, sorry, Misha. Check us out on YouTube. So Zeke. So he is worth a first top 5 pick in my opinion. But there's a giant risk factor. He could hold out the whole season, and then you don't make the playoffs, you lose the league.
Yeah.
Which could happen. It could very well happen. So for me, I don't know. I'm at the 5 spot. I don't know if I want to give away the listeners if I'm willing to take him at that spot or not.
Right.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we just had a question come in on the chat. It is 60 seconds per pick. It is non-super flex. So our flex are only wide receiver, running back, tight end. So you can't put a quarterback in there. It's not a 2 QB or a super flex league. We would have given you lots of heads up on that. Basically, just having 2 flex spots allows for just a little bit more guys in play. And I think that in a deeper league, when you got 12 teams and 2 flex spots, it does put a little bit more emphasis on making the proper starting decisions as opposed to just starting the right team or drafting the right team. So making those crucial starts with your 7th and 8th starting players is going to be really important in this league, especially with how active it projects to be. Scott, if you had the 4th pick, now this is Taylor's spot. He texted me this morning saying, I don't know whether to take Zeke or David Johnson. He's kind of airing his laundry out to me just a little bit. But what would you do in his situation? Yeah, shocker. What would you do in his situation? Would you take Zeke or would you get rid of that risk and take DJ?
I mean, I'm a bit of a Zeke homer, and I've been through the worst of it. I actually drafted him in a keeper league when we knew the suspension was looming way back when. So I've been there down in the trenches. Personally, I would take Zeke. I would take the risk because, like you said, to me, he's a league winner if he plays, and I personally think Dallas will give in and pay him because the Cowboys, with Zeke, are actually a formidable team with a pretty explosive offense. You take Zeke out of that equation, they're fighting for scraps and trying to maybe get the wild card. So I think they will buckle and pay him. But personally, I'm not a massive David Johnson fan. I think Arizona is going to be behind a lot, and that's not going to bode well for your running back to be running out the clock. So I would take the risk on Zeke. If he doesn't play, guess what? Your season's over. You're done. You lost your first-round pick. But if he shows up week 1 or week 2, you got yourself one of the top 3, if not the best running back in the league. So risk to reward for me is worth it.
Yeah.
If I'm out of the top 3 picks.
I personally think he's going to slide a little bit in this draft, but if I had Taylor's spot, I would go David Johnson. Go back and look at this guy's YouTube highlights from his 2016, 2017. The guy was unbelievable. He's a guy that can catch the ball in space. He's going to get a lot of touches, but David Johnson in college was actually a wide receiver, converted running back. So why he's so good as a pass catcher is because he was groomed as a wide receiver. So I love DJ. In the early rounds, I'm trying to get obviously a stud player, but if I can mitigate risk, I'm going to do that. And so I think with David Johnson, it's just a lot more off my plate than having to worry about if Zeke plays or not. And we're drafting early, so these are the things that we have to think about. You might have a draft in 2 weeks from now where you're going to have a very different picture or a clearer picture on what's happening with Zeke. The news is right now he is flying back to Dallas, quote unquote.
Did you see that picture?
Yeah, in coach. What's that guy doing?
Yeah.
Guy's got to be in
I don't know.
first
It might
class.
not be him. Who knows?
Yeah, it might not be him. But look, we're a minute and a half away. Just going through some of the chats here. Eric said, Eric's from Sudbury, so shout out to a fellow Canadian. He likes the Stahl jersey, Lando. He said it's pretty sick.
It's signed too. Yeah. Once they won the Vancouver Olympics, I went online, bought an authentic jersey, and we got it signed from Eric.
Yeah, Landon knows the Stahls quite well, being from Thunder Bay and all. Been a nice charity sponsor for some of the golf stuff they do in Thunder Bay, as well as being involved with some of Landon's family's business. So shout out to the Stahls. And then Nix, yeah, thanks for the setup. I actually made this setup for the Fantasy Whisperers 24-hour live stream. So, there you go. I just kind of threw it together in 10 minutes and it stuck. So look, guys, we are 30 seconds away. There's some projections here, some thoughts. Guys are saying Zeke might go at 9. If he comes to me, I don't know what I'm going to do. I feel like the value at 12 would just be too good. But look, we're about 30 seconds away from breaking friendship here. So sorry to tell y'all, but in 30 seconds, we're about to be enemies. So bring it.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to our listener Braden there that he always envisioned me with thick glasses and looking nerdy. So I'm going to dominate you extra hard for that one. So I'm glad that's how you visualized it. But come at me, bro.
Let's go. All right, gents. I am about to start the draft here. I would like to start the draft. So for those of you that are following the stream, you are about 30 seconds behind. That's just so that Braden can't snipe my picks. So we are live right now. So hopefully if you are not following along, you should do so. on the
Ooh,
app, the
good.
Sleeper app.
There we
Saquon
go.
Barkley, 101. No surprise there. I never really doubted that he would. Although if people wanted to go AK or CMC before him, I don't mind that at all. But Scott, you're faced with a beautiful
this is
situation.
tough. Well, that's the thing. I don't think I can make a wrong decision here. I've got Kamara in another league, and it's tempting to just take him in both. I have McCaffrey. But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kamara. I've never owned him, and I've always obviously wanted to. And I think this is the season where I want him in my backfield. So yeah, at the 102, how do you say no to Kamara? I gotta go for it.
I like it, man. It's you're splitting hairs there, really. I mean, it's preferential for me. We have Alvin a little bit ahead, but they're both the same type of back. You know, they're huge pass catchers, and I love them both. David Johnson Taylor did take the advice and skipped out on Zeke. So, Landon, he falls to you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to pass on Zeke. I'm going to go between Hopkins or Adams. Depending on the day, I like either player. I think I'm going to start with Hopkins in this draft.
Go and Hop at the 105. Land it.
So we've projected Ezekiel Elliott, just for guys listening, we've projected him for 13 games. So we expect he's going to miss a couple weeks at this point in time. That puts him as our running back 9, a tier break below guys like David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, and I chose Devontae Adams for Mark. Mark traded me Devontae Adams last year and has regretted it ever since. So I feel like he wants him back now. He's going to start with the stud wide receiver. And like I said, I have Adams as my number 1 wide receiver. They're very close, depends on touchdowns. But I think Adams is a great pick for Marky.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel he will be the WR1 in the entire
the overall
NFL.
one.
The overall WR1.
Yeah.
So, you took Hop at 115, and I think Mark got the best wide receiver fantasy-wise in the NFL this year at 17. It's hard to argue with that pick.
So look, Ezekiel Elliott went to Eric at 6, and I'm not shocked to see him slide. I thought he would slide a little bit further. We've got a run of wide receivers: Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, all studs. No one reaching for OBJ yet. Nick Chubb going at the 110, and now it's on to Adam, a.k.a. Tron Swanson, who goes Le'Veon Bell.
Lev. Yeah, I don't mind that.
That would have been great for him to fall. Really, really would have loved that. Now, this is a situation I found myself in time and time again. I've basically got to choose between 2 players here, and I've wanted to go running back, wide receiver, and split that up. If you look, I also get the 210 spot too. So that's another
ridiculous
area that I can leverage. James Conner is interesting. Man, we have him further down. If I were to go by rankings right now, Todd Gurley here would be the pick. And then, Dalvin Cook. I like both of them. I'm going to end up going here Gurley. And this is tough for me. So I should go Dalvin Cook. And I should take that. I love him this year. There is a little bit of injury history with him. If I look at our rankings for wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster is in that top tier of players. And I just think that if I go by tier-based drafting, I should have taken Dalvin Cook over Todd Gurley. I love Todd Gurley. I still think he's going to be great. So I'm going to go with Juju. I'm gonna go ahead and split it up. Yeah, I'm gonna go Juju.
Interesting. Yep. All right. Tron is on the clock here right now. I'm interested to see if he goes Tyreek or Odell. He went James Conner. He is a Ravens fan, and he went with his brain, not his heart, and I respect that.
You gotta respect that. Drafting a Chicago Bear is one of the hardest things I ever have to do, and luckily I don't have to do it very often.
No.
Mad Dog with 2 Cleveland Browns off the start. I love Odell. I like Nick too.
Nick Chubb,
Odell
Beckham Jr.
There goes Dalvin Cook at the 2-4. Tyreek
all right.
Hill,
So
probably.
Marky. I think he's a Joe Mixon fan. I'm gonna go Joe Mixon for Mark.
He is a
here.
Joe
He is.
Mixon fan. He loves him some Joe Mixon.
Yeah, awesome, great. Glad he fell to Mark on that spot.
Agreed.
Now I might have to go heavy wide receivers if Mike Evans falls to me here. We had a trade happen.
A late trade as well.
Yeah, Buck.
It's an interesting spot for you, Landon. You know how valuable running backs can be at the start of a draft, but there's a lot to be said with when guys load up on running backs, that value at wide receiver just builds and builds and builds. And Mike Evans is actually in our top 5 wide receivers. So for us, Mike Evans would 100% be the play, but he just goes, hopefully not a stream snipe from Eric there. No, he's tuning in. We do have the 30-second delay on, but a good pick nonetheless.
So for me, I think I might try and go Travis Kelce. Oh man, this is tough.
I mean, he's in a tier of his own. If you look at our rankings, he is above Kittle and Ertz by a long shot. So he is a huge positional advantage, but it's a lot to give up. It's second round.
I like the late round tight ends as well. You know what? We'll give it a shot. We'll go Kelce. Mix things up.
Travis Kelce off
first
the
tight end
board.
off the board.
I never do this. Jeez, you guys have me tilting already.
Tilton, tight end in the second.
There's some
Holy.
great options here right now. I think Antonio Brown is a steal with his current value. His average draft position is the first of the third. So if I was Taylor, I might be looking. Oh, there's some nice options. Keenan Allen, Antonio Brown. I might be looking there. He has been a guy to take Pat Mahomes. So I wonder if Pat Mahomes is going to be a pick for him. He goes Damian Williams. Not something that I love. Not something that I love. I think there's some competition in that backfield. Carlos Hyde's been talked up. They've got Darwin Thompson as well. Who knows what he's going to turn into. But look, this is an easy pick for me. I sort of anticipated getting this player here. It's simple. Kerryon Johnson going to be an absolute stud this season.
Yeah. You called this right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And
cheers, fellas.
Scotty,
We're coming in here, and
you're
I've
talking
got
up Antonio Brown. You think he's going to be a value? He looked good.
He does look good there. I don't know if he's going to make it through the whole year.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, why do you say that?
No, I no, more with his personality than anything that I'm worried about.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I have been talking him up, and you know what? This ADP, let's do it. Let's hope those feet are ready to roll.
Look, Antonio Brown's been the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy for the last 4 years.
I have no issue with his physical abilities right now. Just like any big personality out there, when you're running around going on about a helmet, and maybe you'll quit football because of said a helmet, it gives you a little pause to think, oh boy, I don't know. I hope that, he's there and mentally there for the whole season, because
look, I get it.
He's a hard guy, We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. You're not wrong. You're not wrong by any means.
If week 6 they're 1-5 and you find out that Antonio Brown does something irrational in the locker room, is anyone going to be surprised? Because I won't be.
No.
I'm happy to get him. I'm great. I'm psyched to have him on my team. But like any big personality, you really have to factor that into his draft. But this has gone the way I wanted it to go. It is back to me, and I'm actually very excited the way this has all been going for me. I'm going to take some risk right here. I think this is a listener league. We want some fun. If all this pans out for me, I think my team's going to be stacked. I am taking Melvin Gordon. There we go with the Melvin Gordon Kamara backfield with Antonio Brown on the outside.
That's a big risk. That is a big risk, my friend.
You know what? If you don't risk it, you don't get the biscuit. Let's see how this all plays out.
Holy smokes. Okay. That's an interesting situation right now. It really is.
I'm in a tough spot.
Devonta Freeman, Keenan Allen, Now back to Landon. You don't have a running back yet, sir. Are you considering here, or are you going to continue passing?
I might continue passing here. It's
buddy.
risky. It's risky. There's not many left. You know what? I'm gonna go safe. I'm gonna go Marlon Mack.
Okay, I like that pick. I do. Marlon Mack right now is a running back 15. He is just a tier below Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, and guys in that range. So he is the top of the 4th tier. I like it, Landon. It's you're entering the next tier. I might have considered a wide receiver there, but I think it's good for you to
There's
jump in.
There's some good ones, and now there's still some good ones for Mark. So he has Adam Thielen, T.Y. Hilton. I think I have to go. I think Adam Thielen is the pick for Mark here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tend to agree with that one?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Thielen he had a tale of 2 seasons last year. Obviously was on fire, 8 straight 100-yard games. But he projects to, still find himself in a good situation. I might lean Diggs over Thielen preferentially. I think that's how our rankings show too, but Adam Thielen's not a bad pick.
I think it gives him a really safe floor with Adams, Mixon, and Thielen. He has really safe. He has certified targets and carries on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Look, now we see Josh Jacobs go. Is that too early for Josh Jacobs, or do you think the 8th pick of the 3rd round is good?
Running backs are flying. Running backs are flying right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you need some running back help, you can't wait much longer here. He went wide receiver, right? At a certain point, you got to pull the trigger on a running back, or you're going to be left with the absolute dregs. And running back is not a position where you want to be left, waiver wire hunting week to week. I mean, you can do it for tight ends, you can do it for quarterbacks, but if you think you're going to luck into a plug and play running back week to week, good luck.
So
I think it's fine.
So Buck goes George Kittle, jumps into the tight end market. Scotty, do you want to just do me a quick favor and unfreeze yourself? You're just sort of turn your camera on and off on Discord. You're just a little bit frozen. But Kittle jumps into
on my end.
Yeah, on my end he's a little frozen.
I certainly did not wear the I didn't wear the upper foot for my cryptotherapy. Sorry, I'm a little frozen.
So look, we've got Amari Cooper here, and we've got Zach Ertz, and you guys know how much I love Zach Ertz. I have Juju Smith-Schuster, and I love some of the value on these wide receivers in the middle rounds. So I've got Todd Gurley, and I've got Kerryon Johnson. Just looking over at running back right now, we got Chris Carson, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram. I think I want to follow suit with Landon here and jump into the tight end market. I really want that positional advantage.
And we do that because we think that we can find the value, those diamonds in the rough later in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And we can end up with a top end wide receiver running back because of how good we want to draft late round and the value. So if we have that positional advantage at tight end,
right,
it puts us ahead of the curve.
100%.
Harder to find a top end tight end late in the draft. Like everyone knows that Evan Ingram and OJ Howard are going to have a chance, but they're also getting drafted like that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's good practice to build depth at the star-studded positions like running back and wide receiver. But when it comes down to deciding where am I going to spend my capital, if it's going to be quarterback or tight end, I like to spend up on tight end, especially in a situation like this where I got 4 picks in the top 36. I think it makes sense to take advantage of that and grab some positional value. So that's why I went tight end. I'm probably going to look for quarterback later. But Amari Cooper goes right after me from Turk, made that trade. Tron coming back, Chris Carson. Mad Dog goes Sony Michel. We had Patrick Mahomes go off the board, first quarterback. 3rd round is a lot later than we have seen him been going, so that's interesting. But Turk goes Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love me some Derrick Henry.
I mean, it is good to see Patrick Mahomes fall in this draft because it just goes to show that the guys in this league do value the late round quarterback strategy, and they've been listening to the podcast. So I'm not shocked to see Pat Mahomes go late.
All right, now Marky's on the board here. He's got 2 wide receivers. He has 1 running back. Do you think he might like Philip Lindsay here, or do you think I should go with a guy like Julian Edelman or Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, so, I mean, looking at Mark's team, he has 2 wide receivers, 1 running back. It might be good for him to look Philip Lindsay or Mark Ingram to pick between the two.
I'm going to go Lindsay just to keep it more balanced, and not have to reach for a bad running back.
Julian Edelman is very tempting there. I think the volume for him just projects so well. Eric takes my guy in Chris Godwin, one of our Patreon
all in
members.
On Chris Godwin.
Yeah, he must have read that article because I really hoped that I would get him with this next pick. So good on you, Eric. Way to snipe my guy from me. Yeah.
Look at the value of that Patreon membership.
I know you really like Edelman here, Mac, but I'm leaning towards Brandon Cooks as my secondary wide receiver. What are your thoughts on that? You know I'm a Cooks fan as it is.
Personally, I don't think you can go wrong with Golladay, Woods, Cooks, or Edelman. I really think that with those 4 guys, you have a safe wide receiver 2 with 1 upside. So I feel pretty good with that.
Going Cooks.
Yeah, totally fine. Coming back to Taylor, it's going to be interesting to see what he does here. I think he should go wide receiver. But we'll see. He's got David Johnson, Damian Williams, and Keenan Allen. I'm totally fine with either Julian Edelman or Robert Woods. So I think I got some solid value here at the end of the 4th round. Who would you go between Woods and Edelman, Landon? Where do you lean?
So we have, I'm looking at our rankings right now. We have, let's see. We have Woods higher. I would still go Woods.
Yeah, we do have Woods higher by a substantial margin. So he goes Robert Woods. I think that's where I would have leaned. We also have Kenny Golladay higher. I think. Man, you never know though with Josh Gordon coming back and N'Keal Harry inserting himself into this offense. You never do know what the difference is going to be for Julian Edelman. I think that he's the safest guy in this offense. I don't think that's crazy.
No.
If we go by the rankings, it's Golladay. If I go by my heart, it's Edelman. Where do you think I should lean here?
You've been big on Edelman, so it's really sticking with your gut. If you take Edelman, he's fallen a long way. Maybe it's the Josh Gordon news. Maybe it's just his age, N'Keal Harry, all that stuff. But if you go against your grain and your gut and try something new, pick Golladay and our projections.
I'm going Edelman. He's been a guy that when you take away his 4-game suspension last year, in the 12 weeks he played, he never busted.
Hey, shout out to Mad Dog Jones. He just shared it on his story. Our draft here.
Fantastic. Mad Dog has what, like 100,000 followers on Instagram?
Man, he's an insanely good artist. He's going to Japan and doing an art show.
Yeah,
He's been a good friend. He's one of my. So I'm good friends with Coleman Hell, same with Scott and Mark, and he's the DJ for Coleman Hell, but he's making his own name in the art world, and it's awesome.
Yeah, great guy. We did a couple mocks with him over the phone. We actually scheduled this draft so that he could sort of do this before he took off to Asia. So thanks so much for sharing that, Misha, and we're excited to have you, pal.
Mac's going to hate this.
Ron. Look, Aaron Rodgers, the back of the 4th, that is a lot earlier than he has been going, Scott. I think you could have got him on the turn, but it's not a bad pick. He projects to be a top 3 quarterback by our rankings.
You know what, Devontae Adams is locked in, and to be, I don't know, with the wide receivers that are hanging around right now, I see. I kind of felt like I could have Aaron Rodgers and then have the turn, and okay, I'm still back to work, so that worked out quite well.
So you didn't.
Are you going
lose.
Galladay then, Scotty?
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Or AJ? What do you think about AJ? He's dropping like crazy.
AJ's hurt.
You can't have
AJ's
AJ
hurt.
and Melvin on the same team.
Yeah, I've already got too many. I've already got too many issues there. I feel like I've got to go Kenny, though. To be honest, I'm tempted to go a different way.
You can just punt the wide receiver position, Scott.
Well, I've got Antonio Brown. I'm not punting the position, but it's another tier break issue. I got to go Galladay here. All right, going Galladay. Yeah.
It's interesting to see Steve take Tyler Lockett where he did.
I think that might be a little high for Tyler Lockett.
Steve needed wide receivers. There was no doubt in my mind he had to go wide receiver on those picks.
No, I agree. I just think with Kenny Galladay sitting there, I would rather have Kenny Galladay by a long shot over Tyler Lockett.
Both respective ones in their offense. It's just I like the passing potential of Stafford, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I think Detroit's going to be behind a lot, and there's just that chance that, as we've discussed in earlier episodes, if you were listening to kind of at the front part of the summer, Seattle is a run-first offense, and now they got Metcalf, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But I personally, was hoping to get Galladay in that Detroit offense that I think will be behind a lot, and trying to sling the rock to catch up, which I always put value in. Mm-hmm. Fantasy garbage time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the clock here, right?
It's Taylor.
Oh, it's Taylor.
Yeah.
It is
Good.
Taylor.
Good. Sorry for swearing on live.
Boy,
that's a copyright strike right there.
All the fantasy players here are highly offended, I'm sure.
If you are just joining the stream, welcome in. This is the 2019 Listener League for the Saturday Morning Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. One of our co-hosts, Landon, is on the clock. He's on the far left of your screen wearing the black sweatshirt and the rally cap. Landon, who you thinking here, pal?
I'm between Tevin Coleman and James White, I think. I am a Miles Sanders fan, but I need some running back here. So with that said, I think I will go Tevin Coleman. He's the de facto running back one in his offense. And I know it's a little bit muddy, but he should project to have some decent volume.
I like it. Going on to Eric, he did put in the chat that he sniped me, so he is
shots fired.
Yeah, he is watching the stream. We might have to do a little trade for Chris Godwin, my friend. But let's see who he goes here. His team so far is pretty solid. Ezekiel Elliott, Mike Evans, David Montgomery, Chris Godwin, and he's now on the clock. Do you think he'll go running back or wide receiver here?
Tron Swanson here?
Oh, sorry, it's Adam. I forgot they made a trade.
Yeah. I don't know if even Adam knows that he has this pick.
Yeah, well, that's tough. He took Deshaun Watson. Okay, very, very interesting for Adam. So he has Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, T.Y. Hilton, Chris Carson. I thought he might take Watson for a stack, but he does not have a Texans wide receiver.
So Mark has a pretty even draft so far. I'm gonna not pick AJ Green.
Oh, he's gonna continue to slide. Who's gonna reach for AJ Green?
I don't know.
It's just eventually, at that age, with that injury, and you've got a head coach that's saying he's all but certainly going to miss regular season games, which he has said. I mean, that's risk. It's a risky proposition.
Would you like Tyler Boyd or OJ Howard, real quick, guys? 10 seconds.
I mean, OJ Howard is the upper echelon in that next tier of tight end. So if you want to go the other way, he is Mark's boy. Sometimes you got to reach out on those homer picks,
I'll admit that back when I was debating with Galladay there, I was contemplating just hopping a tier and taking OJ Howard to have like that impact player at tight end. So
Adam said, "I knew I had the pick."
Sure you did.
Yeah. Eric apologizing for the confusion. Not at all. I approved the trade before we did this draft. That's one thing I would like to see Sleeper maybe remedy or make a change, is how these picks actually sort of appear on the draft board. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but I forget to look at that bar at the top. But Miles Sanders going off the board finally. Landon, there's your boy. He's gone. It's crazy to see him go before Jordan Howard.
Yeah, so Big Nick has 2 rookie running backs to start. That's pretty risky. I think it's going to be tough, especially with Miles Sanders probably not getting the early season work.
Mm-hmm.
I do project him to get the late, maybe after game 5 or so, he should get the majority. But Jordan Howard's still going to be involved. They're not going to just run their rookie into the ground when they have a guy that can take a beating. So I love it.
He's definitely really taken an approach to the young guns here that they're going to come out absolutely flying. As this is not a dynasty league, so when you're drafting 2 rookies, you really think that you they're going to knock it out of the park. So look at the size of Nick. He is big.
Mike Williams goes off the board. I'm very, very happy about that. Look, AJ Green has fallen so far. Is this where I sort of just say, you know what, the value's too good, I have to take AJ? I can basically choose between AJ Green and Tyler Boyd, and I know Tyler Boyd's role in this offense is secure, but what do we do with AJ Green?
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to let AJ Green fall any further than this.
The thing is, Tyler Boyd's been better with AJ Green on the field, but I know that Tyler Boyd's going to play. I don't know what AJ Green looks like right now, and if you go by our rankings, Tyler Boyd is actually in a tier above. So I'm going to go and take Tyler Boyd.
All right, got to stay analytical. I mean, you've poured through all the data. You know why the rankings are the way they are. Evan Ingram off the board. Oh, there's probably a lot of disappointment, myself included, with that pick there. I dreamed a dream that it could come all the way back around to me.
No, look.
There's not a chance that was happening.
He's gonna be a stud. Evan Ingram is going to see an influx of targets for the first 4 games. If Sterling Shepard projects to be out a couple games, Evan Ingram's going to get a huge boost. But just as a friendly reminder, Corey Coleman, torn ACL. He's gone. We also have Golden Tate serving a 4-game suspension for what happened to be a failed drug test. He basically took fertility medication and didn't really know, but he did let the league know. He was pretty good about it. But anyways, got the slap on the hand for 4 games. So now you've got a lot of targets vacated from this offense. And I think Evan Ingram, for the first 4 games of the season, going to get absolutely fed.
I think in the 6th round, you know what? I think Evan Ingram's a terrific pick there. So, way to go, Turk. That was a good one. And now your boy AJ Green follows suit, right?
Yeah, we're gonna scroll over to the full board here and just let the people see the full board just for the next round or two. Get our ugly mugs off the screen. Mad Dog takes David Njoku. Adam reaches on AJ Green.
He has 3 Browns
finally.
Right now.
He has 3 Browns.
Man,
yeah,
he is riding the dog pound hard right now.
4 Browns now. 4. That's unreal. I love it.
I'm a huge
wow. Cleveland Browns fan. Yeah.
Why don't you just?
This could be the Browns' year.
Why don't you just go get Baker and make it a 5 spot?
He's got Pat Mahomes, right? So it'd be funny if he did take Baker.
Why not?
Just ride, sit down Pat Mahomes and start Baker. That's unreal.
Getting really into the meat of the draft now. This is where you start to see some really fun moves.
So we've only seen 6 tight ends go off the board so far. There are some notable ones left. So that tight end market is pretty open. We've only had 3 quarterbacks go. So the wide receiver and running back cores are getting a little bit depleted as Nick takes Lamar Miller, another one off the board. Mark has a fairly balanced approach to wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end. Where do you think Mark would want to go here, Landon?
I'm leaning Alshon Jeffrey, more guaranteed targets, and I think Mark has a really safe, good team with upside with the OJ Howard upside.
Agreed.
I'm happy with Mark's draft so far. He could have went Baker, but I think it's still a little bit early for Baker.
To me,
Just
the
based on
Baker pick doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Just because if I'm going to reach on a quarterback early, I would want to have that double dip, that stack ready to go, and he doesn't have any Browns because Mad Dog has them all. So to me, it doesn't make sense. But
Mad Dog has cornered the market on the Browns.
Eric goes for Baker Mayfield. It appears that he has back-to-back quarterbacks, but he does not. So, it's
Tron Swanson.
Where would you go? Where would you go if you were me here? I could go Austin Eckler. I could go like a Robbie Anderson, Christian Kirk. I like both guys. Oh man, what do you guys think? What do you think I should do here?
You do love yourself some Robbie Anderson. I think that's a good. I think that's a good pick.
You've been
for
talking him up forever
to get that third wide receiver. I feel very hopeful for Sam Darnold this year. In preseason, we've seen a lot of good things from him, so I think that's a good pick, Landon.
I really do like my wide receiver core.
Agreed. It's pretty solid. DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Robbie Anderson. I think you've got a mix of floor, ceiling, and unknown, and I think that's good. Taylor, David Johnson, Damian Williams, Keenan Allen, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley. I got to hand it to Taylor. A solid start to this draft. If I was him, I would have taken Kerryon over Damian Williams, but I understand where people have the narrative of Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs produce top tier running backs, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers do. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers have produced the top 6 running back the last 5 seasons. That includes James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, and even D'Angelo Williams.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Hunter Henry didn't go off the board there. I do really like him. He's the end of that tier of top end tight ends, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised. Scott, maybe you could look at him if you want to do that. Based on your team.
That is exactly what is going to happen. And I've had my eye. You notice I love to talk, and I've been very quiet for the past 5 minutes because I didn't want to give any input towards where I thought people should go. Because,
he's playing secrets.
You know what? I think this is Hunter Henry's year. He's been hyped up for so long, when he was a rookie, and it takes time to develop. There's been injury issues, but I've had my eye on Hunter Henry for a couple seasons, and I really do think he's now mature enough in the league to actually make that next jump. And I needed a tight end, so that tier break is coming. And now I am back. All right, where are we going here?
So you could probably use a running back, I would say, since you have the question mark of Melvin Gordon.
Yes, that's. I do need essentially a fill-in backup. I mean, I've got a lot of interesting options. I mean, Rashad Penny's still on the board, and I could hope that he would take that, take the backfield. Jordan Howard is there. What do you guys think?
Jordan Howard will give you early. That might be the perfect guy for you to get the early season work. We know the limit and upside with Howard, not a pass catcher.
What are you thinking, Rashad Penny or Jordan Howard? Where do we see more upside?
I think Rashad Penny, man.
They run it more than the Eagles do.
You know what? I took him in my other league. I'm going Rashad Penny.
Okay,
I like it.
The thing is, if he takes control of that backfield this season with all the question marks there, if say Melvin Gordon does decide to hold out and Rashad Penny makes good on the flashes he showed last season, lining up Penny along with Kamara in the backfield, if he kind of matures this season into that lead back, you can do a lot worse, in my opinion.
You love your penny stocks, eh, Scotty?
I love my penny stock.
He really does.
Shout out Easy.
He really does.
Eric, my man.
This is good. This is great. What do you guys think about your team so far? Are you happy with your starts? Do you think that things could have gone a little bit better for you? Landon, I think you would have taken Hunter Henry had you not jumped on Travis Kelce.
Yeah, probably. I don't love my team with Travis Kelce. I know he's a difference maker, and I need some running back help.
Right.
I do like Marlon Mack, and Andrew Luck looked really good to start. He warmed up in the preseason, was doing drills as if he were to start that game. I think he's going to come along well. I'm not too concerned. That gives Tron Swanson having a great value on T.Y. Hilton with him slipping in drafts. So I think it makes sense. So it's not my pick. Taylor's going to go. I wonder who he's going to go. I doubt he'll pick Kenyon Drake.
Maybe.
I think he's.
I think Taylor's going to jump into. I was just going to say a quarterback. He has a good mix of running backs, wide receivers. Probably a good time to pull the trigger. I don't know if Matt Ryan was the play there for him, but again, I like to stack. So Matt Ryan projects to be a top 10 option, but there might have been some other guys he could have considered instead.
I went Cohen. I recently did an article that will release soon about the Montgomery Cohen backfield. I think Cohen will still be really involved. He has dropped to the 7th round, which is pretty disrespectful for a guy with this talent. Mm-hmm. People really love Montgomery, and they're taking him as the running back 1. I still think Montgomery's a good player. He's going to get a lot of work. He's a really good rookie with tons of upside, but I also do like the value of Cohen at that spot.
Well, and as we've discussed, I think they're two very different players completely, which always then leaves you think there's enough there's enough to go around if you play two completely different styles of football.
Do I get Mark Darius Geis, since he does believe that he will be?
Geis.
He loves them. He
has to be in on
that. Yeah, no,
that's the thing. He's coming back after a full season off with the injury, and Peterson's just another year older. So if you had to put your money down on who's leading that backfield come week 6, I'd go with Darius.
Sometimes you just got to take your guys. Like the ranking said, go Golladay over Julian Edelman. I'd lean Julian Edelman because I love Julian Edelman. So that's just kind of the way that the chips fell for me, and I don't hate that.
And sometimes you got to take your guy, you got to go with him. That's the fun part of fantasy, right? If
Absolutely.
You can get one of your guys, you want to take them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where Mad Dog goes, since there aren't any Browns left to draft.
Oh, Rashard Higgins is still there.
I mean, but now does he go for the lineage? Does he go track down some ones that the Browns let go?
Actually,
maybe you can find some Browns from 2010, 2007.
Landon, you're wrong. Kareem Hunt is still available.
Oh, this is true.
Mad Dog, get after that.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Oh, buddy.
What's Turk gonna do here?
Turk's.
He's on the road right now with his family. Might be putting this one right to the end.
I see Turk go quarterback here. I'm going to see him jump in. I think he might go like Drew Brees, stack with that MT. He might go Cam to stack with that DJ Moore. Who knows? Only he does. 10 seconds
it's
left.
Interesting. We're getting into the point where I think almost anybody who hasn't taken a quarterback at this point, it's not a bad time to, unless you really want to go streaming by the end.
He ran out of time with Andrew Luck.
And he gets Andrew Luck by default. Auto draft.
I hate to see it.
Oh, that
could be
my friend
it
warrants.
Could be a good pick.
That my friend warrants the bad pick sound. You hate to see
you
an
know
auto
what?
draft.
You hate to see an auto draft, but when we do our big hits and big misses of the 2019 season. Maybe taking Andrew Luck in the 7-9 will, look glorious.
Oh, he did it!
Oh,
He did
the
it!
dog pound.
No!
I told you, the heritage
No!
picks. He's going for the heritage pick.
No!
And Kareem Hunt.
No!
Oh, the dog pound is barking in Mad Dog land.
That is unbelievable.
Best draft of the whole season is going to Mad Dog.
Good God.
He's dying right now. He just sent me a text. He's just dying. This is all.
I
He's
am
just
such
yeah.
I am such a fan of Mad Dog's football style.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, it's back to your boy.
Oh,
What does a man do? I think there's some value at wide receiver. I really feel committed to taking a running back here. And I don't really want to spend this capital on Darrell Henderson, but I feel just with Todd Gurley, it probably this early makes sense for me to go ahead and do so. Someone is going to take him. And so I think Darrell Henderson here is a solid pick. I could go Jordan Howard. I could go Kenyon Drake, but I think Darrell Henderson's probably where I'm going to have to spend some of my draft capital. Not that I want to, but I think that I have to.
I thought you were going to do that. I don't mind it.
Yeah. Now, I've got 4 wide receivers. I think if I take one more, I really sure myself up. There are some pretty solid QB options still out here, and that's sort of something that I might look back and say, oh, man, I should have maybe taken quarterback here. But Landon, you could pretty much make this pick for me. You know I love a certain guy.
Larry.
I think I've got to go Larry. As much as I love Geronimo, I think that the volume that projects for Larry right now is really, really solid. What do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, I think you gotta go with your heart. You know where you're going.
Scotty's being quiet because he doesn't want you to pick his player.
I'm doing it. I did it.
Nah, I knew you were taking Allison. I wasn't. He's one of yours.
He's one of my.
I was
guys.
actually eyeing up Henderson if he managed to make it a full board back to me, because you and I have very different takes on the Gurley train this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, had I gone Dalvin Cook, I probably would have Alexander Madison on my team as well. Another guy that struggles with injury. I just think between Cook and Gurley, I want the better offense, and that's Gurley. So that's why I went that way. But I do love Dalvin Cook this year.
If you have the option of getting Gurley, I'd still go Gurley. But I think Darrell Henderson is one of the best handcuffs, we'll call him, in the league, because the offense is going to be solid. And we're going into the season knowing that Gurley clearly has injury issues.
Yes. How
How bad they are, we're going to find out. But anytime that you roll out the running backs they did in the playoffs and Super Bowl, you know something is up. There's no way something's not up with Gurley.
All right, you handsome fellas are coming back on the screen with me here. We've got
Great.
the ladder.
My makeup team is. I'm just getting the makeup team out of the frame. Hold on.
Send them out.
Good.
Send
We're back.
them out.
We're back. Wrap it up.
Wrapping this thing up. We're in the latter part of this draft. If you are joining us right now, welcome into the Saturday Morning Snap 2019 Listener League. We're a 4-man podcast that comes out every Saturday. In the episode description below, there are links to our social medias where you can find our podcasts. And of course, subscribe to this channel because we're going to do a lot more video stuff moving forward in 2019. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But here we are in the 8th round. I just took Geronimo Allison to start it. Jared Cook goes off the board finally. And then Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees to Turk, and Marvin Jones to Nick. I love the Marvin Jones pick. I think there's a good value on Drew Brees there. That's about a round and a half off his current ADP, so that's fantastic stuff. But now it's back to Mark, and Landon is drafting for Mark because Mark, our other co-host, is still in Greece.
So I think Mark has a lot of safe picks, and he has upside built in as well. But I think Dante Pettis could provide that upside with him. Could be the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. He's kind of had a slow start to the offseason. A lot of rookies showing out like Jalen Hurd and Deebo Samuel.
Right.
But I think it fits well with Mark's balanced team. I am on the clock now.
Vance, Dante Pettis and Vance. Interesting.
Yeah. This is difficult for me. I'm going to still skip on. Oh, man.
So let's look at your team, Lando. I mean, you've got 3 wide receiver, 3 running back, 1 tight end. You're really kind of open as to what you can do here.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Dede, my man Dede. We know I like Dede Westbrook.
Okay. All right.
Digging deep.
There's a lot of guys rising on Dede Westbrook. When we do our MVPs, like our Planting Our Flags episode, Landon, you might have to jump in on Dede Westbrook.
No choice.
Yeah, I mean, you put your money where your mouth is, so I mean, I appreciate that. But so I mean, it's the same thing that goes along with the Miami wide receiving course. Someone has to catch the ball, and especially if Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the quarterback there. You know that he's not afraid to air it out. So someone in the offense has to catch the ball, and the same thing happens with Jacksonville. We kind of project Dede to be the guy, but there are some other options in the mix. Marquise Lee actually has the most guaranteed money in that wide receiving core. So
yeah, he just came off the pup, which is good news for that offense in general. Mac Misha wanted to shout out that he really wanted Gerald there, so shout out to you for not drafting Larry.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. It was a tough pick. I mean, if we go by rankings, Geronimo's higher. Larry, I think, is just so solid. He's been a 100 reception guy for the last 3 or 4 years. So I think he's very safe. But there's going to be some growing pains, like Landon alluded to, with the Arizona Cardinal offense. Rookie quarterback and all, and Cliff Kingsbury coming in.
In an earlier draft, I could have taken Kyler Murray with my last pick instead of Dede.
Right.
He's up there on the ADP, and I'm sure he's not going to last too much longer. He's got a ton of upside. He's also a running quarterback, so which provides just a base. Even if that offense isn't as good as what we projected it to a few weeks ago, he still will give you a pretty good baseline with his rushing ability.
Agreed.
All right, Scott of the North. Are you just
10 seconds, man? He's sitting here in the silence.
I'm tilting a little hard here. I'm not gonna lie, and I think I'm gonna go with a Hail Mary dart here, which is a little early for this, but for the flex play, I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that New England offense, and you know what? We were talking about going with your heart a little over your head sometimes, and I do think Brady's going to have to throw the ball somewhere. Josh Gordon's reinstated. You got your guy in there, but I do think N'Keal Harry is a really good talent, and it could be interesting to see if he could be a good flex play for me down the road.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
We're getting into that part of the draft where, as far as where the ADP is falling here, I feel like you got to kind of ignore that, and you got to start making some decisions for yourself at this part, because some of these rankings that are here, I don't know. I think the upside on a guy like N'Keal Harry over some of the other wide receivers that are. And
Scott, that's why we have our projections versus the ADP. So there is a huge discrepancy in what we project for players versus what the public perception is for average draft position. So, I mean, that's one reason to use the rankings, but I don't mind it. Landon, Landon is giving some shade to you in the comments here on YouTube for the N'Keal Harry pick. A couple of boys are ripping you apart for it, Scott. But who knows? We don't know what that offense projects for him. So I like the dart throw.
Oh, you ran out of time,
Scotty!
What? No! Oh, no, I didn't. You guys are jumping off.
You picked Howard? Howard?
Ran out of time. Yeah, I need a bit of a stable, I feel. I need a bit of a stable going into it for the first few weeks here.
Mad Dog says he wants to see me do the 5x5 Rubik's Cube. I don't think I have enough time.
I was going to mention that.
I can happily do the 3x3 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could rip this 3x3 in probably like a minute and a half. So I'll do that for you, Misha. The 5x5 literally takes me like 20 minutes, and it's not. There's just so many damn pieces, and the thing doesn't move well. Like this one's like really, really smooth and solid. This one's it's so clunky. Like it's like literally like a workout to get the pieces to move. So
I got a live trade happening right now on Sleeper.
A trade?
Yeah, that Big Nick wants to trade me.
Who are we looking at?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to see. I'm just not All right. So, you know what? It's hard to pass up Cam Newton's value at this point.
Don't you do it. Don't you dare do it.
He could go in that, like, there's no one on the board I like. I'm definitely going Cam.
Yeah, it's you know from mocking with me and talking shop for the last year. You know how much I love Cam Newton and where I see his value. He could be a fantasy MVP, man. I really, really like where he's going. So that's Landon. I think that's a great pick, especially in the 9th round. A lot of quarterbacks in this league have gone past their ADPs, and I don't mind that one bit.
No, it's good. Yeah, I can't really see. Let's see if I can see a team trade here. What's happening? Braden sent me a trade. I'm trying to see what's going on.
You should be able to see it on your desktop, Landon. The app doesn't do a great job at the moment of seeing trades pre-draft, but the desktop does. So you should be able to see it in the bottom left corner on your desktop.
Okay, let's see here.
You're on the clock right now for Mark, by the way. 23 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds left.
All right. This is tough for Mark here. Let's see. Running back. He could go
10 seconds.
Peyton Barber. Oh, man. He likes Devin Singletary. Going to reach for Devin Singletary. I don't know. It's such a reach. Oh, my Kyler. Oh, sorry, Marky.
Oh, you had one job.
You hate to see that happen. Oh, he trusts you. He leaves you with his projections.
Job.
And you take Kyler Murray. Oh, Mark somewhere in Greece just had a cold shiver run through his entire body.
Josh Gordon goes off the board right after. Nick had him queued. Nick had him queued right up. So Josh Gordon just got reinstated for football play. I like Josh Gordon. I like taking a flyer in him. I'm not sure I like doing it in the single-digit rounds. That's a little risky for my liking, but you got to respect the pick.
Yeah, it might feel a little early just based on the fact that as I discussed earlier, when when the players have the problems, you're unsure. You won't be surprised if you find out he's deactivated week 3. But
here's the problem I have.
Raw talent.
The problem I have is Josh Gordon didn't ball out last year.
Nope.
By any
he did not.
means.
He most certainly did not.
And so to think that he'll come back and ball out with N'Keal Harry back not back in, but N'Keal Harry being drafted to the team, Julian Edelman back for a full season. They've got more running back weapons than they've had in the past couple of years with Damian Harris coming in to that rotation. I think it's going to be tough for Josh Gordon to, cement himself as a viable piece in the offense. He is a risk, and 9th round is a little too rich for me.
It's a Hail Mary throw. He wants to win this league, and I think that's the bottom line. He could be amazing. We've seen him be amazing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Would it be surprised if he doesn't end up playing one game this season? Not really.
Mad dog. Chicago Bears defense. What are you doing, bro?
You got
Whoa,
defense
the
off the
9th
board.
round is just tilting. You get Kyler Murray from Lando from Mark, and we got a Chicago's defense.
I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't go with the Browns defense. I mean, that would have made seven Browns
like
players. That was a perfect opportunity for you to just really go for the fences, but you pussed out. You
know what, though? Don't say it's done yet. The dream is not dead. The Browns defense is still on the board.
Yeah, correct.
The dream is not dead until it's dead.
Let's take a look at this team. Todd Gurley, Kerryon Johnson, Juju, Julian Edelman, Zach Ertz, Tyler Boyd, Darrell Henderson. I think here that I need to go address some needs, which one is running back, but 2 is quarterback. So let's see here. LaShawn is tempting. I don't see what people see in Ronald Jones. I just don't understand. To me, call me crazy, but I'm between Adrian Peterson and Duke Johnson.
I love me some AP. The man barely ages.
Duke Johnson, I think, coming into Texans backfield. I think that's it's a solid pick. He's always been a huge PPR piece. So for this being a half-point league, he's going to come in to help out Lamar Miller, who's not the greatest pass catcher. I think that's probably where I'm going to put some of my chips. Now I can make the decision at quarterback. Russell Wilson is tempting. I think I just want a solid offense, and I already have Todd Gurley. I already have Darrell Henderson. I'm going to lean here with Jared Goff. I know people are saying that regression is coming for this offense, but I think just with having Gurley there, like I've talked it up this draft, I like to stack. So Jared Goff with Todd Gurley, somewhere I can get in the 70 to 80 receptions extra would be great.
I think that's a great pick. I think Goff's a solid quarterback, and he kind of fell to the point where I think you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, agreed. Scotty, you want to just go ahead and turn your camera off and on for me again?
We got a little freezing happening here, Mr. Freeze.
Just a little bit. Landon running smooth, though. Oop. Smooth as butter. Butter for your ear
and there goes AP off the board. It's a good pick by Tron.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. I mean, I was between AP and Duke. I like AP just because if Darius Geis isn't ready to rock, AP is going to continue to do what he did last year, so he could be a huge steal.
But I was actually contemplating AP myself with my, earlier on with my Melvin Gordon situation. I thought if I could get him into later rounds, talk about a situation where maybe I'm 3 weeks without Gordon, and if they're 3 weeks without Guy, AP is a pretty solid plug-in for those, at least the first half of that season.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I'm going to pan to the full board here so you guys can see where our teams are at the current point in time. We're deep in this thing, man. 10th round. We're in the double digits. We're making it through. And I think there's some solid teams so far. Kind of what Landon and I were talking about last night. I really, really like my starting lineup. My depth has struggled a little bit, but I like my starting lineup once again.
I wanted Peyton Barber for myself, Mark, but I got
what a selfless guy. What a selfless guy.
So,
wow.
Hopefully that makes up for the Kyler Murray pick.
It does not.
So we've got, let's just look at some team needs here. We've got Scuba Steve and BD Nick still without a tight end. Actually, and Buck, does Buck have a tight end? I don't know. I can't follow his team with all the trades that's been going on. He does. He has Kittle. My mistake. So yeah, we have two teams still without tight end. I believe everybody has a quarterback so far, except for Adam does as well. So I believe every team has a quarterback at this point. Tight end's probably going to start flying. Eric with Baker Mayfield on his team also goes Lamar Jackson. That is an interesting play. My advice here is if you're looking to go double tight end or double quarterback, make sure that their bye weeks are not the same week. And on Sleeper, that's indicated in the bottom right corner of each player box in brackets. So you'll see a number like 9 or 6. Just make sure those numbers are different before you go ahead and draft them.
It's a great tip.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not that the guys in this league need any tips, but we're here to help everybody.
You never know if people have been using, an NFL fantasy platform, Yahoo Sports, all over the board.
Tony Pollard. I like the pick.
Make some hay.
A little bit early for him, but it might not be.
Now,
the next couple weeks really are going to be the telltale sign. I mean, you saw the same thing happen with McCole Hardman.
I'm going to make a pick here that I've been toying with for the past few rounds.
He's got Zeke, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to be popular, but if this is the year that he takes off, and if Mariota can prove that he's at least a viable NFL quarterback, I got some hope for Corey Davis.
Okay. All right. I
know. Run first offense, Derrick Henry, all those things. But I really think Corey Davis does have a lot of talent, and if he can just if Mariota can just be a healthy, somewhat capable quarterback, I still think he's going to be the lead wide receiver there, even with all the hype around the rookies. So,
Scott, I do love that pick for you. The only thing I would advocate for is I really wished with Melvin Gordon and the uncertainty there, I wished you would have grabbed either Eckler or Justin Jackson just to shore up that share of Melvin Gordon a little bit. But, I mean, there's certainly upside with Corey Davis.
yeah, and I definitely contemplated doing that, but I do feel relatively protected with my picks of Penny and Howard. One of those I can at least slot in.
You are still a little frozen for me, sir, if you wouldn't mind flicking on and off again.
I am on the clock, so I will have to worry about that at a different time.
You look very frightened in this still frame of yourself.
Do I? It's probably because I know what I'm about to do.
Oh,
and
no.
Mackenzie in particular is going to let me have it. Everybody's going to let me have it. But when you write an article, and you make a bet and you say that this gentleman is going to fall in draft, and at age 35 he is going to come out and be one of the best tight ends and pick right up, I'm going to follow the Corey Davis Tennessee receiver with Mr. Delaney Walker as my backup tight end.
Okay.
Boom! I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Okay. You could have got him in probably the 15th round here, Scott.
Well, you say that, but some people do have tight end needs, and they're starting to get up there. There's Hooper, Hawkson, and then, unless we're going to go Andrews or take a flyer on concussion superstar Jordan Reed, there was the chance that it wasn't going to make it all the way back, all the way to Mac and back. So
concussion superstar, that is quite the name.
It really does look like I'm fart there, Easy Baker. Thanks for really letting me know that. So let's just get the camera going again.
Love the pick from Willie Buck here in the 11th round. Tyrell Williams, he's fit to be the number 2 in a Raiders offense that features Antonio Brown, so he could be getting some of that juju treatment. The volume's not going to be there, but Antonio Brown demands a certain level of attention from defensive sets, so that might bode really, really well for Tyrell Williams to take the top off the defense and go deep. So I really like that pick. I thought that was a good upside pick here. Taylor on the clock. Yo, Taylor, my man. He's got a good little mix of everything. Loved the James Washington pick the round prior. Going to be interesting to see what he does here. Who's going to reach on Rojo? Michael Gallup. No surprise, Cowboys fan. Taylor, he loves his Cowboys. So Michael Gallup. You passed on Zeke in the earlier rounds, but you took your boy here, so I like that. You're probably going to take Dak Prescott in the coming rounds as well.
If you were me, would you go Emmanuel Sanders or Anthony Miller?
I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is trending really, really well in camp right now. He's been a beast in this offense. I think with Flacco there, it's probably an upgrade on what you could have had or have had the last couple years. I like Sanders personally. I don't quite get the Anthony Miller hype. I mean, if you look at Chicago, one of the lowest passing volumes in the league. So I would go Emmanuel Sanders, which you did.
Don't love it, but that's
it's an 11th round pick though. I mean, you're looking for upside, and that's a guy who could be pretty solid. He could be like a wide receiver too at the end of the year. I think that's his ceiling.
Right. So, I'm gonna go upside with Markey, and I'm gonna take DK.
Okay, we're seeing some rookies go now, which is interesting. I don't mind.
Big Nick, Justice Hill. Ooh.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
Oh, Justice Hill off the board.
Oh, you hate to see it.
You really do.
Man.
Who do you like here with these remaining running backs? I mean, LaShawn McCoy is still out there. He is a starter. Crazy enough to stay.
For how long, though?
He's a starter. I mean, hey,
You're not gonna be able to trade him even if he starts the year hot. I don't know, man.
TJ
At some point,
Hawkinson.
someone's gonna trade him.
TJ Hawkinson is an interesting play to me. I don't love him this year for fantasy. Like we've talked about in the podcast, we think TJ Hawkinson's going to be on the field a lot, but it's not going to translate into fantasy value. Landon's talked about him and how good he is as a pass and run blocker. I think he's going to be utilized in that respect. They also have Jesse James. So it's going to be great. He'll be on the field a lot. I just don't think it's going to translate into fantasy value in year one. He will, transform into that role, but yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah, some rookie tight ends. I think they both have a ton of talent. So you could see it. You could see them both break the mold and be fantasy productive. But in the 10th round, it's it's whatever for Turk and for that's Turk's only tight end. That might be a little risky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Take another guy late.
Yeah, the tier break that's happening with the tight ends now I find is interesting because you've got Max champion for the season of certain gentlemen. I will let the clock tick down, seeing how I don't exactly. Oh, Jalen Samuels. Right. We've got Mr. Hooper still hanging out there, and if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that Mac is convinced that Austin Hooper is criminally undervalued in the fantasy sphere. And right now,
but he already has Ertz.
I do.
Oh, he does. And but as we all know in football, and people can draft however they want, but having depth at any position, especially with the flex regulations that this league has, it's never the worst thing. And as a trade piece, if Austin Hooper actually is as good as Mackenzie says, then it never hurts to have more than one tight end. If Ertz goes down week 2 and you have nobody on your depth chart, then you're in trouble.
I'm going to take a guy here similar to Duke Johnson's role, who I think has standalone value. We saw it last year. I'm going to take Dion Lewis. I think he's being forgotten about just a little bit. Now I'm sort of in a spot where I'm, not entirely sure what I'd like to do. I could grab another quarterback here while we still have some value on the board. I do love Jared Goff, but it would be nice to, he's not matchup proof. It would be nice to stream matchups. I could also go out and grab some of the wide receivers that I like, or I could double up on a tight end. But I spent that early round capital on Zach Ertz, and I don't have any issues with him. So I think I might lean quarterback here. Do you think that's crazy?
Do another quarterback? I mean, there's tons of value at quarterback.
Yeah, I really like the prospect of Ben Roethlisberger to go with my Juju. There's going to be
a fun stack for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be some great games to be had between those two. So I'm going to take Ben. I already have a solid wide receiver core. I don't need to spend any more money on those guys. I think it's just going to be running backs and maybe another tight end in the coming rounds. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
No, I think I'm always an app for trying to get an upper echelon backup quarterback. To me, it's more of a, if you can swing it and you have the roster space, it's that confidence of knowing that, when you watch your QB1 go down with something that looks bad, the difference between flipping over to the waiver wire and seeing what is left versus knowing, okay, I mean, that sucks. It's terrible. It's football. It happens all the time. Yeah. But knowing, all right, next man up, I'm plugging this guy in. To me, I find a lot of sleep at night value in that because, last season, what was it? You know this better than anyone. Was it week 1 that Aaron Rodgers play a quarter of football?
First week, man.
It looked like he was just done. So fantasy owners everywhere were either flipping to the waiver wire to see what prospect was available, or other guys were looking and saying, all right, next guy's up. Thank God I took this.
Right. Yeah. No, it's yeah. I just got some crap from Buck. He said, "Damn you, Mac." I assume he either wanted Dion Lewis or Ben Roethlisberger. So
And he wanted both. And there goes Mr. Hooper.
That's
to
my guy.
large member Nick 07.
We talked
All right,
about
I
Austin
gotta-
Hooper on the last pod. He's got great value, especially with how much the
12-5.
Falcons throw the ball and how much he's involved in the red zone. He was I think he was 9th in the league last year for red zone receptions. So Austin Hooper, I love, finished the tight end 7 last year, going in the middle of the 12th round. That is a steal.
I think Mark will be very happy that he also snagged Ronald Jones there. I think at the 12-6, I still think him and Peyton Barber are going to be kind of slugging it out into the end of camp. So I could see Mark being happy with that pick.
He's got his fair share of bucks.
It's
should be
a
good.
spot in the draft where I don't mind taking a flyer on Ronald Jones, but his ADP right now, just as a reminder, is in the middle of the 8th. So to get a 4-round discount, I think this is more appropriate as to where he should be drafted versus where he's being drafted by a lot of people. I don't like the hype. I don't like the upside that seems to exist with Ronald Jones from a community perspective. But I think this is an appropriate spot for him, Landon. So I think that's a good pick. If he fell another round, I would have taken him.
Yeah, for sure. It's the value is too good to drop. I'm gonna need some. I picked Devin Funchess. Hopefully Andrew Luck is good. I just wanted some safe targets. He's a big body. Maybe siphon off some of those touchdowns from Eric Ebron in the regular season. So I think it's just a fine pick. I know I'm not thrilled with the talent behind Funchess, but his physical stature is where I leaned there.
Yeah. Scott, you are once again frozen, my friend. It's I'm not sure what's going on with the video through
No
Discord,
idea why.
but it could be me.
I'm falling prey to the frozen feed, but
As the most handsome member of this podcast, you are
it is
the focus of
a
this
curse
stream.
that follows me. You know, I'll try to give a better thumbnail for the next freeze. You know, just
That's they stay like that.
Please do that.
for the boys.
Buck is back on the clock. Willie's got 10 seconds left. Let's see if he goes with here.
Jacksonville
Oh,
Jaguars.
he's jumping into the
D.
defense.
We have a defense. You know, it's tempting to actually go with, like, say, LaShawn McCoy just because of my situation, but I already have so many running backs. I feel I can at least plug and play till he gets back on the field. Oh boy, do I want to go defense here? I got to grab one eventually here. I feel it's getting a little early, but the Rams are still there, and the Rams are fun. It's a tough decision here. It's is it time? The drop-off's going to be pretty substantial. Wouldn't mind.
What to do, Scotty? 10
Scott,
seconds
tilting
left.
again.
Tilt.
You know what? I'm going to get me some Rams.
What?
They play Carolina first. That's not an opponent you want to start a defense against.
Just 1 week.
I've been hitting that
Scuba,
bad pick
Baltimore.
button a lot for you, Scotty.
It's okay.
Yikes.
That's your button, not mine.
You said I do
And
wield
Baltimore.
the power. I do wield
Yes.
the power.
Baltimore starts against Miami, which is a great pick. I like Scuba's defense pick better. Sorry, Scott.
That's okay. All right, Scuba. We'll see. And he follows that with the concussion machine, Jordan himself. I have played that game so many times, and I have lost. All right, this next pick is somebody I talked about once again in a couple episodes earlier in the summer. As I was discussing, I'm someone who thoroughly believes in having a capable backup quarterback you think has upside in case Rodgers decides to go down early on in the season. Maybe a bit of a reach, but I am going to grab Kirk Cousins right here, and I think he's going to have a bounce-back season and have some great numbers in this passing offense with a better line this season. So I'm going to lock him down right now. and make sure I have a capable backup just in case Mackenzie's heart breaks at some point this upcoming season with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Taylor lost out on Dak Prescott one before, but shored himself up a great potential handcuff and starter if anything happens to Dalvin Cook. Alexander Mattison, great pick, Taylor. I really, really like that.
All right, now I need a running back, I think. So Nyheim Hines and Madison are both good picks by Taylor. I probably would have went with one of those. LaShawn McCoy is
he's still there, man. Like 13th round, you gotta take him. He's a starter.
I guess so. There's really nobody else.
It doesn't feel good.
Enthusiasm.
It doesn't feel good at all.
No. I hate that. I hate it.
I do too. I really do. But that's value city. How do you not? I think you.
There's nothing else out there.
No, you're right. You're very, very right.
You got yourself some. Bills. Everybody likes some Bills. Is that the first Bill off the board?
I
believe you took the first Buffalo Bill off.
Singletary went round.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Singletary did go earlier, yeah. Oh, Buffalo.
Right.
Darren Waller.
I got Markey here now. I could go Rivers as his backup quarterback. Jimmy G. He's got he's got a really. You know what? Here we go, Markey. One of my guys too, Mark Andrews.
Does Darren Waller still have the tight end wide receiver split on this platform?
Darren Waller? No, just tight end.
I believe about a week ago he was still tight end wide receiver eligible for both categories.
I think he's now designated as their starter tight end.
Okay.
In Oakland, so I think it's gonna just be the one.
Okay.
Oh, and he took the Cleveland Browns just so Mad Dog couldn't.
There we go. There it is. Completes the trifecta.
I hate to see that.
At this point, just go for it, man. Just complete it all. Mad Dog.
He was going to live the dream. I like to think he was going to live the dream if he wasn't absolutely sniped.
I missed the Kiki QT pick by Adam, but I was definitely thinking about taking him. I just don't know what he projects to be right now.
Yeah. Hopefully he's healthy. If he's healthy, I really like QT. I like Adam's value there. I thought you were going to take Phillip Rivers and get that Hunter Henry Rivers stack, but you went with the
I was tempted to do it, but I am. It's a little bit of my homer bias probably, but I am pretty Kirk Cousins after a full season in that offense with a better offensive. I mean, their wide receiving option, the receiving option, I'd have to put it top 3 in the league. I do think he's going to put up some great numbers. So I'd love to have the stack. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Thielen and Diggs. How do you say no to a full season of that? Hopefully.
Yeah. It's on to me, and no one has been taken from the Miami receiving core. We alluded to this earlier in the draft, and Kenny Stills.
You're a Stills guy.
Kenny Stills still available. It was Albert Wilson for me, but I've been rising on Kenny Stills just from what we've seen in training camp. So I think that's worth some solid value. And heading into the 14th round, this is where things get a little bit gross. For me personally, I'm going to pivot off of kicker defense most likely. And because we're drafting so early, I'm going to go ahead and look at some guys that could make their way into a better situation. Who that is right now, I don't know. I mean, Rykel Armstead is probably someone I will consider. But the running back core is just so gross right now. 13 seconds. This is not looking good at all. Okay, I'm going to take a guy that I think is an appropriate spot to take. I'm going to go with McCole Hardman just to see what happens. in the
And you've been a
preseason.
hater on him.
I have.
Yeah, you've
Look,
been talking him down as hard as.
I was a hater on McCole Harbin for the purpose of our rookie draft. I didn't think he was worth second round pick. Or no, he went as a first round pick.
Second round.
I believe it was first.
Didn't Mark get him or something with the second round pick?
Well, remember though that was in a whole different at the time.
Yes, you're right.
Where he was being touted as the replacement for apparently an upstanding citizen in this great world of ours. So you have to remember that was a whole different world where we thought we were debating whether he would be the heir apparent and plugged right into that offense. Now you're trying to see standalone value. Oh, my guy Justin Tucker taken off the board. Yeah, I hate to see it.
Oh, you really do, Scotty. You really, really do.
Well, my season's over. I'm just gonna go home and leave. All right.
Zerline, some kickers off the board. I don't know if I should take a defense for Mark or just go with another quarterback maybe. He only has Kyler. It's a tough one here, Chris. So I do like Josh Allen. I think I'm gonna go Josh Allen for Mark.
Okay.
Josh Allen, another Buffalo Bill off the board.
Don't mind it. Don't mind it at all.
I'm up here. Do I go flyer or do I go? I only have one quarterback as well. I do like the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. They start the season with the New York Giants, and I think I'm going to go that direction.
Okay.
Oh, and it's freezing. There we go.
Taylor,
like
coming over to Taylor. Let's see
feed.
if he elects to go with a kicker or defense, or he continues down the depth and upside path that I've sort of paved here. I think defenses are very, very easy to grab. And one thing that I could say about grabbing a defense, go ahead and look at the team's first or first 1 or 2 games of the season and see if they have a favorable schedule. There's a couple teams that come to mind. I'm not going to share that at this moment in time because I might want to grab one of them, but that's sort of what I look for in the opening weeks of the year. It's just not a team that necessarily is a plug-and-play solid defense. Those don't really exist anymore, but I'm just trying to look at matchups to start the year. And I'm, again, it's a 14th, 15th round selection, so not too much stock being put into some of these picks.
The Chargers.
Yeah, I'll admit at my pick here, there's 2 wide receivers that I've had my eye on that are on different ends of the spectrum here, with Paris Campbell available, but also Traquan Smith still on the board.
Yep.
I think he's an interesting player. I mean, we've discussed at length. I'd like to get some of that Indy offense if luck comes out, and it's tough because Campbell is just a great option, but Traquan Smith could also. Either one interesting. You know what? I'm gonna go Smith.
I think that's the right pick.
I'm gonna go Traquan. It's really hard because we've been talking about Paris, and you have to assume Luck's gonna be healthy at some point this season. But he did lose he's lost a lot of time gelling with that offense to do the injury, and I think it's a lot to ask a rookie to miss this much of the preseason training camp and come out and make like a meaningful impact. Obviously, if this was a dynasty league or something, to be a little different, but I think Traquan, just a lot better of a chance of actually coming out and making a meaningful impact. But it was tough. It was tight. I was right down to the wire. I've been staring at the 2 of them on my board, hoping that they. So I am very happy to pick up Traquan.
Yeah, I think that's right. I didn't really see him. I probably would have looked at him. Defense, Scotty.
Here we go. Last round, fellas. I can't believe we're here.
Mr. Insignificant, as they like to be.
So who do you think, just looking at the team so far, Landon, who do you think has the best team in this draft?
Let me take a look. So at a glance, I'm looking at whoever took the latest quarterback, which was you.
Yep.
Or you know what? That was Buck. That was Buck who just took Dak as his only quarterback. Let's look at his team.
Bold move, Cotton.
Bold move, Cotton.
Don't mind it. He's his.
Marquise Brown. Look at that in the 15th round.
Yeah.
For the boys still in the chat, why don't you go ahead and put who you think is the favorite right now? Who has the strongest team? I know it's a little bit early to say, but who do you think right now has the best team? Go ahead and drop that in the comments below, and cement your opinion there.
Man, this is tough. I like Tron's team. He's got lots of really good, safe running backs: Lev, Connor, Carson,
AJ
T.
Green in the 6th.
Yeah, that's good value.
It's a great value.
If AJ Green comes back healthy, you call it like week 2. That's it's gonna just be the absolute steal of the draft.
Agreed.
Yeah, Taylor's team actually is really good and balanced as well. Has a really good wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 with Keenan, Woods, and Ridley. I like that a lot. I don't like his running back depth after Damien Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Royce Freeman, Heem Hines. I like the Alexander Madison play, but I don't think he'll have standalone value. You are waiting for a Dalvin Cook injury for that to happen. It would have made sense if he was a Dalvin Cook owner.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas Goedert, great pick by Buck.
Yes.
Really good pick.
Agreed. I know you're high on him. I don't see him eating into Zach Ertz at all.
Braden is just hating on here. I look forward to facing him. Let's get his schedule out.
He is a competitor. He really is. What is he saying in the chat here?
Oh, definitely not Scott. Definitely not Scott with the best draft here.
Mad Dog Pound looking
I
the
think
best.
I think I've got a rival. I like it.
All right. For me here, is there anything at running back that I like? Even a deep guy, I could go like, oh man, Benny Snell Jr. I don't know what to go here. I'd maybe get another quarterback.
If I was a James Conner owner, I'd be taking Benny Snell for sure.
Yeah. I'm kind of tilting here. What would you guys do for?
Is Jacoby Myers still available?
No, I'm not going to take Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
I'll go second quarterback, I guess. Do I go? I'll go
Mitchell Trubisky.
Mitch.
Yeah, got to be Mitch if you're going to go quarterback.
And for Markey, do I try to take another flyer just in case? Maybe Ito Smith, just in case Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, I mean that's solid. Hopefully,
he doesn't have.
I really hope that he has a great
kicker.
season. No, that's fine. I mean, I don't have a defense or a kicker yet either.
All right, guys, that's pretty much it. That was a lot of fun.
That was a great time.
Kaimi Fairbairn, I was thinking about taking him. I
know.
Yay. On to me to make the last pick. I might go kicker. Who knows? I'll stay at home. Give me Mason.
Mason Crosby. But if you're gonna make a homer pick, not the worst homer pick out there to grab the kicker.
There it is, fellas.
No Greg Olsen.
It is complete. That is the inaugural league draft for Saturday morning snap.
Unbelievable. Well,
yeah,
look,
a lot of fun.
For the three of us, really, really want to thank you guys for coming by. We really appreciate it. This is our first time doing a live stream on this channel, and we're sorry that we couldn't have Mark here, but hopefully the listeners really, really appreciated and enjoyed everything that we did. It took a lot of work to get this together, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think the hype video at the beginning was great. It even got me fired up, even though I had a hand in making it. That was pretty fire.
Fully fired up.
If you missed it, go back and watch it. It's great. But anything that you guys want to say before we get this thing going? I know we have our Patreon. If you want to shout that out, Landon.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank all the listeners involved. That was a ton of fun. You guys make this worthwhile. I never expected this to even happen. There's a lot of guys we've never met before. We've just interacted online, and hopefully this is just the beginning of something really great. And yeah,
all right,
easy, Eric. Shout out for being a patron, and
thanks so much, boys.
Hey,
we gotta go.
Thanks for listening to another episode.
All right,
of
we'll
Saturday
see you on the
Morning Snack.
gridiron.